Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with Subtitles GPITRAL. Follow us.
And this is Pointless, the quiz show where the lowest scorers are the biggest winners. To stay in the game, our contestants need to score as few points as possible, and the way they do that is by giving those obscure answers that everyone else forgets. We've asked all our questions on Pointless to 100 people before the show. All our contestants have to do is find those little-known answers that as few of our 100 people gave as possible. So, for example, we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many films featuring Leonardo DiCaprio as they could, and we found out that 88 of them said Titanic, an obvious answer that would score you a horribly high 88 points. However, only 30 of them said Catch Me If You Can, a lesser-known film that would score you a respectably low 30 points. Now, occasionally there are even some answers that none of our 100 people could name. So, for example, none of them said This Boy's Life. So that would have been a truly pointless film featuring Leonardo DiCaprio. That would score you absolutely nothing. That is exactly what you want. And if you find any of those, then we will add £250 to today's jackpot. So let's meet today's players. Welcome, Mark and Debbie. You are our first pair on the show. How do you two know each other?
We've known each other for about 4 years. We both work at the same firm of solicitors.
Very good. Best of luck. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Our next pair are Jean and David. Welcome to the show. How do you two know each other?
I met him at birth.
You met him at birth? I've been there.
Son.
How long ago was that, David?
29 years.
29 years.
No,
Very
you can't believe
good.
it.
No, I can't. I can't. I was going to say 14. Excellent. Welcome to the show. On to our third pair, Ruth and Pauline. Welcome back. We give everyone 2 chances to reach the Pointless final, and today is your final chance. Remind us how you two know each other.
Our children, we met when our children went to nursery together 8 years ago.
Very good. And how did you get on yesterday?
We did not bad. We're halfway there, but we're hoping to go all the way today.
Very good. Well, best of luck to you. Welcome to Sarah and Paul. How do you two know each other?
We work in a wine bar in Canary Wharf together.
And when you're sort of tidying up at the end of a busy night, polishing off the leftovers, you swap general knowledge facts, I'm guessing.
Well, we're actually here to see who actually knows the most about general pointless facts.
Well, you've come to the right place. And finally, it is hello to Louis and Christopher.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. How do you two know each other?
We perform as the Elderly Brothers, the original and probably now the oldest boy band in Britain.
Very good. You guitarists?
I'm an excellent guitarist and my partner is a very, very bad guitarist.
Well, he's not plugged in, you mean, is that it?
Full stop, he's not plugged in, that's right.
Well, we'll see about that. Very best of luck to you. I hope you'll all be plugged in for this. As ever, there is one final person I need to introduce to you. He is the man with all the pointless facts at his fingertips. He is my pointless friend. It's Richard. Richard, how are you?
I'm very well. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. And you alone know what sort of show we have ahead
Absolutely.
of us.
I've got all the questions here. I've got all the answers here as well. At the end of each round, I will take everyone in the studio and everyone at home through all the best answers you can come up with, the pointless answers that none of our 100 people gave. But I will also take you all through the worst possible things you can say, the obvious ones, the ones that everybody has said. I should point out you don't know any of the questions on today's show or any of the answers. So best of luck to everybody.
Thanks very much, Richard. Yesterday's finalists, Chris and Dan, won the jackpot of £1,250. So today's jackpot starts all over again and stands at £1,000. But remember, if you find some pointless answers along the way, each one of those will add £250 to that total amount. So let's play Pointless. In the first round, each of you must give me one answer, and you cannot confer with your partner. You will score 1 point for every one of the 100 people that gave that same answer. And remember, this is pointless, so you're trying to find the least well-known answers and score the fewest points. If anyone gives me an incorrect answer, they will, I'm afraid, score the maximum of 100 points, so be careful. If you do give an incorrect answer, this will happen. You really don't want to see that. At the end of the round, your combined score will be totalled up, and the highest scoring pair will be eliminated. Only 2 pairs make it through to our head-to-head semi-final, so the pressure is really on. OK, our first category is pop music. Pop music. Can you decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what our first question is going to be. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many UK Eurovision entrants as they could. Richard, can you be more specific than that?
Yeah, we're looking for any artist or group who have represented the United Kingdom in the Eurovision Song Contest since its inception in 1956. There are 50 answers here, and it won't surprise you to know an awful lot of them are pointless.
I bet they are. Right, Mark and Debbie, before the show you all drew lots, and it turns out today you will be starting us off. So, Mark, what are you going to go for?
OK, I'll say Samantha Janus.
Samantha Janus. OK, remember, if it is an incorrect answer, you will score the maximum of 100 points. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Samantha Janus. It's the right answer. Very good, look at that, 3. That means that 3 of our 100 people said Samantha Janus. That gives you a fantastic opening score of 3. Richard, Samantha Janus.
Yeah, Samantha Janus, 1991, A Message to Your Heart. Fairly obscure knowledge, that.
Very good, on to our next pair. Jean, what are you going to go with?
I seem to remember a couple called Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson.
Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson. Let's see how many of our 100 people went with Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson. Well, it's correct. Oh, it's going to be good, this one. Look at that! 4! That means that 4 of our 100 people went with Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson. Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson,
And Teddy
Richard.
Johnson. 1959, one of the first ever UK Eurovision entries, Sing Little Birdie.
OK, we are looking for UK Eurovision entrants, and everyone so far has shown some fantastic, obscure knowledge. OK, Ruth and Pauline. Ruth, what are you going to go for?
No pressure, eh? Gina G.
Gina G. Let's see, how many of our 100 people went with Gina G? It's good. It's another good one. Look at that, 8. That means that 8 of our 100 people said Gina G. That gives you a score of 8. Gina G, Richard.
Yep, of course, in 1996, Ooh Ah Just a Little Bit, which didn't win Eurovision, but did go to #1 in the charts, which is a rare feat.
Very good. On to our 4th pair, Paul and Sarah. Paul, what are you going to go with?
Scooch.
Hoping nobody could remember Scooch because they were so brilliant. Let's see how many of our 100 people went with Scooch. It's correct. Oh, it's good. It's another good one. Look at that, 6. That means that 6 of our 100 people said Scooch, and that scores Paul and Sarah 6 points. Richard, Scooch.
Yes, Scooch. They came 22nd out of, I think, 20.
OK, we are looking for UK Eurovision entrants. Christopher and Louis. Christopher.
I think I'll go with Lindsay DePaul.
Lindsay DePaul. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Lindsay DePaul. Well, it's correct. It's good. Look at that. 2. That means, of course, that only 2 of our 100 people said Lindsay DePaul. That gives you a score of 2. Richard, Lindsay DePaul.
Yeah, Lindsay DePaul, of course, actually with Mike Moran and Rock Bottom, their song.
We are halfway through the round. Let's see how we are on the scoreboard. Louis and Christopher looking pretty good on 2. Our higher scorer, with only 8, is the pair called Ruth and Pauline. You've just got to hope that everyone else scores high and you score low in the next pass, but very best of luck. Can the second players take their places at the podium, please? OK, Louis. Louis, it is your turn. You are the low scorers at the moment. The high scorers are Ruth and Pauline on 8. So to be absolutely safe, you want to be coming in at 5 or less. OK?
There was a duo even older than Chris and myself called the Allisons, and I believe they got to number 2 in 1959 with a song called Are You Sure? The Allisons.
The Allisons. That's fantastic. OK, you see that red line at the bottom there? That is your safety margin. If you are below that red line, you are definitely in the next round. If you are above that red line, you are in danger of being the pair with the highest score. OK, let's see. How many of our 100 people went with the Allisons? Oh, it's good. Out it goes. You're safe, and it's pointless. That means that none of our 100 people said the Allisons, and it adds £250 to today's jackpot, which now stands at £1,250. The Allisons, Richard.
Yeah, well, normally I'd say what the song was called, where it, where it finished, where it got in the charts, but you've done all of that. It was Are You Sure? Second in the Eurovision, second in the charts. The only reason I still have a job is because it wasn't 59, it was 1961. But a brilliant, brilliant answer.
Oh, Louis!
Yeah.
Terrible. Sorry, folks.
Many congratulations to you, Louis and Christopher. You have a low score of 2. You are definitely through to the next round. On to our next pair, Sarah and Paul. Sarah, we are looking for a UK Eurovision entrant. What are you going to go with?
I think Jordan did it. I can't remember if she did it with Peter Andre or not.
OK. Jordan, you are currently on 6. The high scorers at the moment are Pauline and Ruth on 8, all incredibly low scores. To avoid being the highest scorers yourselves, you want to be scoring 1 or less with Jordan. If Jordan is wrong, you will, I'm afraid, score the maximum of 100 points. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Jordan. Sarah. Unfortunately, that is a wrong answer, which means you score 100 points. That takes your total up to 106. That's great news for Pauline and Ruth. Whew. You're at quite a nice margin of 98 there, just to keep you safe. Richard, Jordan, with or without Peter Andre?
Yeah, I don't know which I prefer. She did actually. She entered the Song for Europe.
She didn't get into the. She didn't.
No, she didn't. She lost in the Song for Europe, I'm afraid.
Bad luck. OK, on to our next pair. You are currently on 8.